go to your Facebook, yeah? Is that what it is?
So it should be on Facebook now.
I'm on your website. I don't see the link.
Let's see.
I see a leopard there.
I can see us if you just scroll further down.
Oh, I have to go further down? Oh, do I have to go where the picture is or what?
Just a little bit further down, and then you'll see a picture of both of us.
I see Greg now.
Oh, then it's further up.
Ah, yeah. But not what we see here, just a picture of us too, yeah? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so you can, if you look on Facebook, you'll see both of us live right now.
Oh, already live. No.
Yeah, so you can, if you look on Facebook.
You see, we didn't rehearse that, okay?
See, Carmen is there, Josh, Enrico.
Good. Hi, guys. Stay home. All right. Yeah.
So are you good?
Shall I try on my Facebook? Maybe.
Yeah, so can you see it or not, Hans?
Not on yours. I have a profile for sure.
Which one is that? The one with the animal on it, the cow and the lions in the back?
With the bull. I have the one with the bull. Now yes. I see you. I got it.
There we go. So just turn your volume low.
It is low. It's all switched off.
But now what you can do, if you look at, so we're doing this on StreamYard, you can see on the right there, can you see the comments? If you actually look at your iPad. Can you see the comments there?
StreamYard. You mean on the blue thing?
Yeah, on the right. So like Enrico said,
I'm in the show.
So Enrico says, whoop, more fun. Rona says hello. Can you see all of that?
No way. No. I see just a blue strip. And it says everyone can see. And now I need my glasses. Like, God, I wanted to avoid that, darling.
You're fine. You can just do it on your phone, Hans.
Oh yeah. But maybe that's easier.
But I can read you. I can read you all the comments too, if you like.
It's easy on the phone for me.
Okay,
I need my glasses anyway. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll just wait. We'll just wait a few seconds, guys.
And may I say, not too naughty questions, please. It's live. I know there's some naughty people, and I can see that already. I've changed since lockdown, you know, I'm completely different now.
I'm just trying to get Jürgen connected. Hold on, there we go.
Oh, Jürgen, push the button. I sent a love.
He likes your shirt, Alexei Karulov.
Oh, good. It's a coronavirus thing. Rumba in the jungle.
Plowman says hi.
Greg the vet gave it to me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Rumba in the jungle.
Brian says, wow, great apartment. Where are you?
Well, that's a good question. Well, the question is, where are you? I think he's
in bed.
He's
in bed still.
On his, once a day exercising. I'm sure he's skipping along the thing, going shopping or something. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Jürgen is in. He said, I like his gin and tonic.
Sorry, Jürgen, it's water. It's water. Sorry. Yeah.
So Roman is saying, can you please straighten the camera? What's the
Oh my God. How many drinks did you have, Roman? It's crazy. What do you mean? Maybe it's my bad posture. Could be two, you know? Could be two. How is that? Good?
Can everybody hear us 100%? Jason Kasoglu's watching, Angelique's watching. They're all there, Hans.
Okay, good. Bonjour, Angelique.
So I think we can get going, and if everybody misses the beginning, it's going to be posted on my page and your page, so then they can obviously tune in later and rewind and whatnot. So thank you, Hans, for agreeing to take the hot seat.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm letting myself in here, but it's okay.
Exactly.
Thanks God I'm not shy.
So yeah, if anybody hasn't seen any of the interviews, it's just I think this is just a nice little fun chance to get to know some of our friends, teachers, coaches, personalities in the dance world, more of the real side. A little bit on the personality and the character, and not just so much about results and competitions and stuff. There'll be a little bit about that, of course, but more a little bit about what Hans Galke is all about. Andre and Melinda say hi.
Hi, Hungary. Where are you? Slovenia, Hungary? Where are you?
So guys, what we want with this as well is, obviously I have my little plan on what I want to ask Hans. But we want lots of questions from you too. If there's anything that you want to ask Hans, now is the chance. He has no pen in his hand, so you're fine.
Don't worry. I don't anyway.
So honestly, if there's any questions, they could be a little personal. They could be about dancing. They could be about competitions. They could be about, what goes on in his head or fashion or whatnot. We don't really mind. We are open for business. And if Hans doesn't like it, well, he doesn't have to answer. But that we will definitely try get an answer out of it.
Can we agree on one sign?
We need a safe word.
I learned that from Brian. He did that to Carmen all the time.
Okay, so Hans, what's your current situation like? You're in London, in Wimbledon, yeah?
Yes, I'm in London, Wimbledon. Actually, luckily, lucky enough, we have this nice flat, as you can see. We have a little garden, and we are super lucky that we have great sunshine. So actually, every morning I go out running in the park. I do my 1 a day exercise. I'm allowed, And then, then what else? Cleaning the house and whatever.
So how has Corona affected you? Are you teaching online? Are you doing anything dance related? Are you just taking a rest? Are you working on other things?
Well, actually, I have to say, this is now week 6, I think. I lost counts now. That's a good thing too. You don't even know which day it is anyway. But I think I slowed down the week before we went into the lockdown. That when it kind of was like we came back, we were still in Germany, Brian and I, visiting friends, and then it was already starting. Oh, you can't fly anymore, and So we came back. And I think in the first week, we still were allowed to move around. So I bought stuff like for my garden and all this stuff. Like I got ready for the lockdown. And the first 3 weeks, I was super busy. But now it really slows down. And at that time, I said, I have no time for online lessons. No time. I'm busy. And but I actually did one today. So I did 1 or 2, but the first time. But it's a strange feeling to teach without touch. I find it difficult, but maybe a new skill to learn, you see. You have to express yourself even better to make it clear to everybody without trying to touch. So it's a good learning curve for me as well. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But otherwise, I think like everybody else, I have my ups and downs. I'm honest. I try to stay positive because there's no other way for all to get through this, especially because if I would have a date that I know that is the date when everything is back to normal, I would be fine. I can tune myself, but it's the uncertainty, isn't it? And I especially in our business that we all kind of depending on travel. That is, or let's say even travel that the students can come to London, not even me traveling, But that's a difficult thing. But anyway. Thanks God, I have a rich husband who can keep me alive till end of the year. Please.
So Hans, what's the first thing you're going to do when the lockdown finishes?
What I will focus on?
No, the first thing you'll do once it's all done.
The first thing I do. Oh, good question. I think I will book a flight. If I haven't booked already before. I learned from Carmen now. She does nowadays. She was in a shopping cut down, and she said she does basket shopping. She's, at least she pretends to buy, but she doesn't buy. So maybe I do that with the flights. I pretend to buy and don't buy. But I guess yeah. But definitely, I know now how life is when I retire. And
You're practicing.
I didn't change my mind. I will not retire so early. Sorry, guys. I'm longer around. I need something to do. That's for sure. That's one thing I know. I will not retire soon.
Well, Alexei Karolov is saying that they love your touch and that the first thing you're going to do is obviously go to Matiko after the lockdown, right?
Not necessarily Matiko. I want to get out here. No, but you see, you definitely start to miss your students. For sure, yeah.
So Hans, on a serious note, who is Hans Galke? Tell us.
Oh, Hans Galke is a German, still German, even though I lived for 20 years in London. And strange thing, because when I used to dance, I always, everybody told me, I suppose, come on, you have to move to London to this much better here. And I said, no, I will never leave Germany, because I'm through and through a German, believe it or not. And yeah, and now I'm living already longer in England than in Germany. Yeah, but what am I? Yeah, ask me something that you want to know. Which direction you going?
Well, I mean, like outside of the dance floor, who are you? How would you describe yourself?
Wow, I think I'm a very nice guy. Really easygoing, nice guy. I would say quite relaxed, even though I can be quite hyper sometimes inside. I do feel I'm a quite nervous person, even though I try to be always relaxed and cool, but I think I have my worries and fears in myself. I keep learning that as well, try to cope with it. Maybe nobody sees that so much, but otherwise I'm definitely quite focused. If I want to do something, I can get my mind towards that. And I consider myself a very lucky person. I could make our dancing my hobby, my occupation, and I definitely appreciate that a lot. Every day I remind myself, oh great, you can still do the stuff that you really like to do, and it's fun to do. I think we're living in a great world if we're allowed to meet again. And yeah, so I would say I'm definitely a social person, and that's why maybe this situation for me, even though I love brighten dearly, but I would like to see somebody else. I need social people and yeah, social contact. So that's why we spend a lot of time on Facebook and wherever we are nowadays to meet people and Zooming. And so I'm, but overall, I would consider myself a happy person, happy chappy.
And then Hans, how do you think other people see you? So that's how you see yourself. How do you think the outside world sees you?
I guess they think I'm quite funny. But you know, it's always like this, that behind a funny person, there's always a sad soul. Right? So I'm not sure, right. But yeah, that's what I mean, maybe. There's a lot of things behind that maybe people don't see. That is maybe true. But not that I'm trying to hide it. It's just that I feel it unnecessary. I don't like miserable people, you know. So I try not to be. And I try to have positivity in my life because it drives me as well. So I don't like negativity. So... And then, even if I am myself, I try to overcome it with maybe more like this kind of. So I can go mad, especially if there's a drink involved. You know? Yeah, is Greg here too?
I don't know if he made it. I don't know. Someone's got to check in with Greg DeVet. Someone sent Greg a message.
Very funny, Greg. You were funny. Yeah, Greg is actually the same birthday as me, so that tells you maybe.
Tells you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So Hans, tell us a little bit about your childhood. Where exactly in Germany are you from? How was your childhood situation? Was it a happy childhood? About your parents?
Well, I was born in Nuremberg. It's in Bavaria. It is where, you know, where the Lederhosen are, the German Lederhosen and the BFS. That is where I'm coming from. That's where I was born. Very lucky with my parents. I had a fantastic family. I had two other brothers, or still have. I have one left. Unfortunately, one had passed away 10 years ago. So I had a very lucky and happy childhood. I was out of three children, I was the last one. So I was always the spoiled little brat. My big brother was 10 years older than me. So see, he had to fight for everything and I didn't have to do anything because he took care of me. So it was good. And my family was very supportive. And I consider myself, again, very lucky. I had a great family. Yeah. And what did I do? I went to school. I went to I did my exams. What do you call it? Matura. I think it's in English, yeah? A level. So what is that in English?
Yeah, A level.
In German, it's Abitur, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents pushed me to do that because they wanted me to become something big and something really good. So I had to, even though I didn't like school a lot, but because for me it was always clear, especially after I was started to dance, I was always clear that I wanted to be a dancer. So important for me was to learn how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know. And so school was not my thing, you know. But anyway, my parents looked after me, did everything. So I was a lucky boy, yeah.
What did your parents do?
My parents, my mother was a Hausfrau, looking after 3 children. While my father was an engineer. He was traveling around the world. He was a lot in Asia, and he was actually living for a long time in Ireland. He had kind of this project that he had to look after. There was a special thing that he invented at the time, and by the time that was like coming to this country, he had to travel there to look after until that was built up, and then he had to look after all of this. So my father was traveling a lot, and in my childhood, I actually didn't see my father a lot. So my mother was always looking after us. Yeah. But he sent all the money, so it's good.
So some random guy on here named Brian Watson's asking, how did your parents decide on your name?
Yeah, well, actually, because I was the third boy coming, my father definitely wanted, actually, he wanted only girls. In the end, he had 3 boys. But so after there were 2 boys already, they never even looked for a boy's name. So by the time they went to the hospital for delivery, my father said, so what are we going to do if it's going to be a boy? And then my mother said, we just take, you know, there was a guy in the radio who moderated this. His name was Reinhard, and that was my name. We just take this Hans Reinhard, and that's fine. Really? It's really true. Yeah, she told me that after I was like 15, 16, I could have shot her a whoop. But anyway, but that's the honest truth. My name came from a radio moderator on the way to the hospital. Wow. Yeah, and but I don't even know the girl's name. If I would have been a girl, I don't know that. I have forgotten to ask.
And then Hans, tell us a little bit about your dancing. How did your dance journey begin? How did you start dancing, and how did it get more serious?
Well, in Germany, it's like a normal tradition that all schools, the whole school class, when they're 14, 15, they visit a dance school. It's like a kind of social thing that we do all. This is a normal thing, how to learn the beginner steps at least. And my brother went there, and he did all the kind of medal tests as he was 10 years older as well. And then he continued dancing also competitively. And then one afternoon he said to us on a weekend, I'm taking part in a competition, and you're going to come. Everybody has to come. So he said, oh yeah, we all go. So I was then 10 or 15, 10 years, I think. No, sorry, 11. Anyway, so my brother was then already a dancer. And then we went there, and there was like a children's competition before my brother at the time, because my brother was, I think, a junior or youth, and there was this juvenile at the time, they called it. And I saw that, and I said to my mother, I want to do that too. I want to do that too. This looks cool. She said, yeah, just go to the guy and ask when you have to come. So I said, I will do that. So I went to the guy who moderated and asked him, when is my next class? When can I take part? And I want this girl over there. And and that's how it started. And he said, yeah, come just next Tuesday for our group training. And that's what I did. I went there and started to dance in this group class. And I think on the same evening, there was one girl coming as well, new. They put us together. I danced with her one comp. And that was it. And I split up with her. And not because she was not bad, not good. I didn't dislike her. There was just one better one, and she asked me actually, "Oh, you're quite nice. You're quite sweet." Da, da, da. So I said, "Okay, I like you too." So that was my first dance partner, Margit Ruprecht, and I danced with her the first 10 years of my career. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I had actually only 3 dance partners in my whole dance life. Yeah, it was my first one that I started to dance for half a year. Then Margit from she used to be later maybe more known as Margit Hölk. She done a lot of ballroom later, and yeah. So and then after that I had Bianca. Yeah, so I had only 3. I'm very You see, focused, not left and right, focused.
So Roman Italienkin's asking, would you change anything going back to how you started dancing in your beginnings? Like if you had the choice to go back now, is there something you would change on how you started?
No, again, I have to say I was lucky because in that structure in this dance club, because in Germany it's more about dance clubs. Yes, this is not so much in England. It's dance schools or dance studios in America, but it's really like clubs where people can be member and stuff. And they had great teachers there from the beginning. So I was very lucky to have, especially a very good ballroom teacher at the time. And I realized that only later in my career how good that was, because I got taught really great fundamentals from the start. And believe it or not, I was actually, I think in the beginning, a better ballroom dancer than a Latin dancer, for sure. And I enjoyed the ballroom as well very much. And so it was actually great. And then later, those teachers also allowed me to, or introduced me to more international teachers. So they kind of passed me on. So I never had this feeling of I was kept back, and they really allowed me to explore what I wanted to do and what I wanted to do, how much I wanted to put in, and they were very positive and inspiring. So again, after many years, I realized that I was very lucky to meet again the right people that help you on the way to be positive, So actually, I was quite lucky. Yeah. So in that sense, I wouldn't change anything, because by the time I was, when I started, I was 11. And if you're a child, you don't really know what you're doing. You just have fun or you don't have fun. And if you have the right people that guide you in the right thing, then I think you're happy anyway. If I would have been unhappy at the time, I would have changed it. Yeah.
So Hans Alexi is asking, when did you stop dancing ballroom and why did you choose Latin?
Okay. Well, it was actually, so I have to be, because with Margit, when I was dancing with Margit, I was a ballroom youth champion and ballroom Latin champion, and we were 10 dance champions. And so we were really good in both, kind of. Oh, good. Sounds strange if you say yourself. We were great.
Fabulous.
So, and then, there was a time when Margit decided to split from me because she wanted to marry another guy, and that she wanted also to dance with at the time. That was the reason why I split up. So I was, of course, terribly upset that she left me. But, and in the end, I was half a year not dancing at all. And then at that time, actually, Nina Hunt gave me a call. Do you know Nina Hunt? Yeah. You heard the name, yeah? Nina Hunt.
Yeah.
She gave me a call, and she said, "Oh, I have this really good girl in Freiburg, and from Eugen Fritz and Ute Streicher. It's a very top professional couple at the time. They were champions in Pro Latin. Yes, and this girl is looking for a partner, and I heard you are split up, and so you should try." And then at that time I said, no, I want first half a year, nothing to do. I wanted to do what every young people do, because my life was dancing, school, eating. That was my youth, And I said, so I did everything that I didn't do before for half a year. But after half a year, discos or whatever, meeting people and doing all the naughty stuff, I was bored. And so I called Nina back and I said, Nina, is this offer still available? So, and then, I met up with Bianca. That was and then I said to Bianca, so Bianca, what do you, I really want to do ballroom. You do ballroom? Because no, I'm actually only a Latin girl. So I said, I'm only dancing with you if you do both. So she said, okay, I do both if you want me to. So, so she did. And she really tried to push herself, because she was kind of, she danced a little bit of pole, but not really as a high class. So, and then we pushed it more or less till we won the 10 dance world championship. And then I said to Bianca, I think that's it. That is the most we can go with the ballroom. Because our practice was not enough to be just kind of keeping it up. So, and then after that, I said, I think that's the right moment to get out of it. And then she said, thanks God, you're pushing it far too much already. So yeah, that is how we decided. It was 1988, I think. Yeah.
And what year did, and you retired, was it 98?
97.
97.
97, I retired. Yeah. That is
So-
already 20 years ago. Can you imagine?
Wow.
I'm retired longer than I danced.
So Hans, tell us a little bit in that timeline when you met Brian, or when did you start your relationship
When I
with
met
Brian?
Brian,
Yeah.
well, I met the first time I met Brian. I saw Brian when he came over and danced the youth under 21 in Blackpool, and he won. And I saw him there already dancing, and he was good, of course. And I think he won, and but I never had so much contact. And then later, of course, because we were competing together, we always had contact, and we had always parties. Because in our times, we had great parties after the comps. You know, we were not just dancing. We were actually quite social, I would say. Definitely something that the young people should change nowadays a bit. They should relax a bit more. But maybe I don't know anymore because they don't invite the oldies to these parties anymore. That could be also. Coming back. And then, of course, I met Brian. We were always very good friends, but because we're competing against, there would be nothing more than that. So,
So was it love at first sight?
Meeting, if you ask about meeting, it was only when I retired. Then I had only time to focus on something else. Yeah. If you compete against, it's a no-go.
So it was it love at first sight?
Of course. From Brian's side, yeah.
Or was it a slow burner?
I say, no, wait. Of course. Listen, highly sympathetic.
So Hans, tell me, like in your eyes, or from your point of view, what was your biggest accomplishment in your career? Not necessarily a result, but it could be. Like, what did you feel as a dancer or as a person was your biggest accomplishment?
Of course, I mean, let's say the titles, of course, give you a little bit recognition, or so you always strive, isn't it? And I don't believe in the people who say they don't want to win. I did want to have a good result. This is a good question. However, I had to take what it was, or I had to also accept what I received. In the end of the day, yes, I was a world champion, so therefore I can say I had achieved a great deal. But if you ask me really is, what I nowadays appreciate more is that I achieved to find myself in the end of the dancing career. Because of course, you know, like when you're a student and you're learning all up and down, and of course you have something personal yourself and some charisma and some personality. And you're learning all these fundamentals that are very difficult to learn, as you know yourself. It's not easy. You struggle. Yeah. And again, this is a little bit also my past in the dancing. When I was young, as I'm not afraid of things, you know, I can be myself without worrying, is it right or wrong? And this may be a good thing at the time, because even though I had great teachers, when it came to the competition, I did what I had to do, you know, and I was not holding back and trying to be super correct. I either had it in my body and then I can use it, or I had to go back after the comp and have to continue learning, you know. But there was a period, especially like we kind of came to England, Bianca and I, and then in 85 when we danced the comp, kind of unknown. We came to the final straight away, kind of an unknown couple. And kind of, as I have to say, of course I knew stuff, but after I realized that coming into this final, I think it was more our personality at the time that made us coming to this final, the kind of shiny personality, or a little bit like casual, relaxed, and bubbly, you know. And then after that time, of course, you meet a lot of people, a lot of great teachers, and they gave us a lot of advice, but they also worked very strongly on our fundamentals. That extreme, like I didn't know my shoulder, my hip, my leg, my arm. I didn't know what to put together at the first time. And at that time, my performance for sure went down like this. And even though I was still successful, but the results was worse than it was before. And then later, till the end of and in the end, your whole career, you struggle with these kind of things all the time, isn't it? You have to be constantly working to get better, and at the same time, you have to be also ready for a comp. And I find that I thought that was quite a difficult thing for myself to kind of let go in the competition then, because I knew now so many more things that I didn't know in the beginning, and I just was myself. But in the last 2 years, and this is what I'm going to come to, in the last 2 years of my career, I think I managed to be more strong to myself and managed to make all these things that I learned before without having to be told again from my teachers. And I'm glad that I managed that in my career, that I think I found myself with doing all these details right, kind of, even though they were not perfect, for sure not perfect. So if I say the achievement is that I found myself, how I want to dance.
So Hans, then on the other side of it, what's your biggest regret in your dance career, if any?
Name it.
Let's start at the top of the list.
Oh God. Which year are you talking about? No. I would say, to cut it short, I think I did it my way, and then in the end of the day, is it right or wrong, regrets or no regrets? You have to do it, and by every mistake, let's call it a mistake, yes, or thing. At least it happened to you, and then if you learn something out of it, you can change it. So yeah, for that. So other than that, I was quite perfect. But I definitely had a few things that I maybe regret of have done, in the sense of being silly or whatever. But anyway, I think I learned a few lessons. That's good.
So Hans, who was the? I think I know the answer, but you can tell everyone. Who is the teacher that helped and inspired you the most in your career?
Well, at every stage, different people. As I said, I mean, these people, I can give you the name of this lady who taught me when I was a juvenile. It was Gretel Porcella. She was a German professional ballroom champion at the time. And I was lucky she was kind of assistant in this club who did all of that. So she was a fantastic teacher at the time. And then she introduced me actually to a guy that some of you maybe don't even know. It's Hans-Peter Fischer. He was professional world champion before Hazel and Allen and Peter Maxwell. And he had a dance school not so far away from Nuremberg, also in Bavaria. So yeah, she brought us to this because she wanted us to do a bit more Latin. So I had a great teacher in him. And then because he was very busy, this was more my youth time, around 16, 17. And then he said at the time, because he was busy working, he said, "Oh, I think, guys, you should go to England. You have to go more to see international people." So he actually introduced us to Nina Hunt, because he came from Nina Hunt. So he made the connection with Nina. So we traveled first time to England. And I still remember when I came out in Balham the first time from the underground station, I couldn't believe my eyes. Where am I? You know, coming as a child from Germany, and I said, "Oh my God, I have no idea." And plus, I didn't speak English properly. You know? So I had to rely constantly on my partner, what I hated as well. Anyway, but so Nina Hunt, and then at that time there was also Nina Hunt and actually Bill and Bobby Irwin, because they did. We had always in the morning Nina. And then in the afternoon, we had always Bill and Bobby. So we were always, because we were at the time 16, So we had no car, so we had to walk from Balham to Streatham every day, forward and backwards for our lessons. And then we lived in Balham in a little pension in a Ritherdon Road. I remember that. So we went always in the morning this way, and then through Ritherdon had lunch with Our Lady and went back to Streatham. So there was that time. And then later it was actually when I moved into Freiburg and I met Bianca, then Eugen Fritz and Udo Streicher at the time, because they had a great dance school at the time, and it's one of the biggest dance schools. And of course, they had also a lot of international teachers coming over. That's when I met Benny Tolmeyer, first time Nina and Bill and Bobby, they came to the studio, so I had continuous contact with them. And then I think Alan and Hazel came at the time. Yeah, this is I think when I met them, and then we went to England, and then we were in this competition in '85. This is when we were more often in England, and this is when we met our very good friends Colin and Lena first time, and we saw them practicing actually in I think it was not Sammy, it was Benny Tolmeyer's studio at the time. I forgot the name, but it was Benny's studio, very near to Sammy at the time. And Bianca and I said, I think we love their dancing. And then we said to them, we would like to have some lessons. So at that time, they helped us actually a lot. And they not only with the teaching, they also helped us actually to stay with them in the house. And they were really like great, great friends. And until today, they are great friends. So I would say they were a great influence in our times. That was in the beginning of our amateur years, and then and actually our whole career through. And then after that, Colin and Lena also introduced us to Espen, and because they had a lot of lessons with him, and so yes. And then I have to say, Espen became, of course, then for especially for the last career, maybe our most high influenced teacher, because he came also a lot to Germany ourselves, and we had him nearly every 6 weeks for 2 days just by ourselves. So yeah, so lucky we had him for 10 years. Yeah, so that was it.
So do you feel like any of these teachers shaped your teaching, like to influence your style of teaching today?
My style of teaching is definitely my style, I would say. But the information, that is definitely for sure from these people. Definitely, yes, I would say. But I would say I definitely mix also my own experience and informations into it, yes. But let's say if they build the fundamentals, that is what it is. There is no big change towards it. But how you teach to people, I think every teacher is different. And that's why I think also every student needs to find his teacher, because I think it's all to do also a little bit with personality. Some people learn better from a more strict teacher, some need a more relaxed teacher. And I think in the end of the day, whatever fits between you as a teacher and a student is also very important. And those people helped me, and those people were not also great teachers, they were also great people that I liked and that worked for me. So for me, a great teacher, it means also it needs to function with your personality. So, and that worked for me. They had the right way to do, or they had also understanding how I was, or how I was learning. Yeah, I definitely understand. Espen was quite often frustrated with me because he thought I was not serious enough. But well, maybe true. But thanks God he had Bianca as a counterbalance, because she's super serious.
So you had two teachers.
Said, it needs to function. You see, I think, and this is why what students also need to understand. I think they need to find their own teacher that works for them as well, because not everybody fits to everybody. Yeah.
And Hans, you spoke a little earlier about how free and sort of natural you were, and like you just danced. Was it very difficult to adapt and sort of learn this technique and these mechanics and things that you had to buckle down and do? Was it difficult to make that change?
Yes, for sure. Because as I said, maybe it's also my personality that if something irritates me, I can move it to the side. And this is what I felt at it. But these teachers were so strong with me and so strict, and you know, I felt like in a German school. So shut up and do. And that was maybe for me it was difficult. That's why I thought I maybe lost also my personality, what I said before, a little bit, performance. And it was just that I lost the freedom because I felt so occupied in my head. That was the problem for me. There were so many details. I didn't even know what can function together, you know, the little toe to the knee, to the hip, to the belly button, to the back, to the shoulder, to the arm, and the partner. Oh my God. Plus choreography, plus the timing. Oh, I mean, I think you know yourself. Yes, and at that time, I struggled. I have to say, I struggled. I could throw it overboard later because it was necessary to do that. But yeah, and I can say that to every student as well. Don't worry, you keep working till the end on the same things, and it maybe will be never perfect. I certainly was not perfect when I retired. Yeah. But maybe when I retired then, later, it was then a little bit better for me that your head becomes more free from that not competing anymore. And that is, I think, a big thing that you maybe don't realize when you're in it as a dancer. Suddenly, maybe your brain starts to function better because you're not anymore in this struggle between, oh, I need to compete now, and now I need to be free. Now I need to be restricted and need to do it all correct. You know, it is like, and while you're in this tunnel of competing, I think sometimes you lose that. At least I lost that. And later, as a let's say just teacher, you definitely see it a little bit more clear. That's for sure. And I hope some students get it more early than me, but I got it very late.
And Hans, tell us, what was it like dancing with Bianca? Did you used to fight a lot? Did you have the perfect partnership?
Oh, we were perfect. We didn't fight at all. No. Yes, as we were lovey-dovey in the beginning, very like every young couple. No, the first 2 years, great. We had just fun. It was everything, yeah, very good. Yeah, and then the struggles come, you know, different things, different opinions, different ways where we want to go, how things have to go, you know. Of course, I think when you're young and 20, then my way is the right way, and you know, and definitely. But that's the good thing about Bianca. She's definitely also strong-minded. That's why I also liked her. You know, I wouldn't have liked a partner that is just saying yes, I do. You know? So in that sense, yes, we were fighting, or we were discussing for the right decision. Yeah, but yeah, I think I have never seen a couple who does not fight. You name me one couple who did not fight.
Well, Greg, I asked Greg the vet in his interview because he ran all the assembly practices, and he said the only one he can think of is David and Denise.
Oh.
But
I haven't seen them practice.
Yeah.
But the medal goes to David and Denise.
There you go. So, Hans, any low point in your career that you can remember? Some point like where you hit rock bottom and you sort of thought about quitting, or you had a very low point, and if so, what pushed you on and made you want to continue? How did you get through it?
Well, I had low points, but not particular because of my dancing. It was maybe a little bit like circumstances that were not great at the time, maybe financial reasons, or I would have never quit dancing because I love it too much, and definitely also a bad result would have been never a reason for me to quit and change. But you know, if life circumstances get difficult, it was a bit complicated for me. And then there was a moment when we brought Carmen in my mind. Is she texting, Carmen? Bianca and I had a period we were struggling a little bit more because things were a little bit more difficult, and I would have said, yeah, that I could have seen us splitting, yeah, and we had also discussions about it. Oh, I think we should rather stop it because it just doesn't work anymore. We were like kind of going this way, you know, and I didn't see this coming somewhere. So there was a point where we were like kind of, oh, I think we have to change. But somehow, I don't know how it worked, we never gave up and we couldn't let go. So, but I can't tell you now exactly when that was, but there was a point that I would have said out of that reason, if the personality or if yeah, if you have trouble with that person, that you do something so extreme, so ultimate, like the dancing, and this has to function. If that doesn't function, then it's a problem, you know. But for result or that, I never thought. But anyway, I didn't split from Bianca till the end, so it was meant to be, you know. And thanks God, and now I realize I'm glad we found each other. She was my soulmate in dance for sure. Yeah.
So Hans, Alexi wants to know, what was the first thing you did when you retired?
Drink. We had a great party, actually. It was at the World Championship when we won. And Brian was there, Karma was there, Alan, Deepika, Propol. We all had a great party. Colin, Lena were there, Espen were there. We had a great party. So.
And Plamen is asking, tell us a little about the World Championship in Germany when you won. How was it?
Let's say it was highs and lows. We definitely, I have to say, we practiced a lot at the time, and we had also, because we knew that if we want to win, then this is our chance, because Donny and Gaynor stopped the year before. But we also knew that at the time there was the Worlds, we knew that they will come back. So, you know, we were kind of clear that if we want to win it, we have to win it now. So, of course, it was a bit anxious, but we gave everything. And then also we have decided already before the comp that if we win, not if we win. After this comp, we stop. So even if we not win, we will still stop. You know? So we retired on the night. So yes, there was a lot of high emotions going in this competition. Of course, trying to be anxious to win, super excited because it was in Germany. We had a great support, of course, so that was a fantastic event for us. They were all going, with German flags. So yes, it was great for us. So it was high emotional. Plus, after that, I knew I'm gonna retire. You know, with the pot or without the pot. But I knew we had organized the party. That was good.
So Hans, you spoke a little bit about like there was a lot of pressure and emotion and whatnot. How in general do you handle stress and pressure as a person?
I would say great. Everybody else
Maybe
said,
we should ask Brian or Bianca that one.
No, I realized myself, I'm not good in handling stress. I try, again, as I said at the beginning, I try to not to let people realize, but it's difficult. I struggle. Not that I'm stressed now. No, but yeah. But thanks God, and I have to say thank you again to Bianca. She knew me very well. And that's maybe also a sign of a good partnership, that you have exactly this partner that balances you, you know. When I was over the top, she calmed me down. When she was too calm, I popped her a little bit up. Come on now, do something. So I think we were kind of that extreme opposite, that we kind of could help each other to balance each other out. Yes, and I was a bit more nervous than she. She's quite a cool cucumber. So that helped me to bring me down. So maybe that worked very well. It's a bit like Brian and me, you know. I guess.
Hans, tell me, do you have a philosophy on how you live your life?
Yeah. I have to tell you that. Always when I was young and was dancing, I said, okay, great. I use the dancing. I will do always what I want. And then after I retire, I will work hard for 15 years. And then I will retire. I will have hopefully somewhere my little flat, hopefully near the sun, near the sea. And then it's only party time. You see, I'm still working. I'm still sitting, not at the sun. Things change in life, yes. What you expect when you're young, you maybe change completely. And then also, I have to say also, and I was quite work orientated at the time, but then my brother passed away, and he died with 53. And that was definitely a learning curve for me, for sure, where I realized, you cannot only work. There must be something else, because who knows, by tomorrow it can be over, you know.
Yeah.
Because until that point, I never was in touch with death, it was never in my mind, it didn't even cross because I was not confronted with it. And yes, that was the first time I had to deal with it. And then actually, unfortunately, also 2 years after, both of my parents died as well. So that period was quite tough for myself to deal with a lot of personal stress and sadness. And certainly after that, I changed my view of life. I live different now than I used to. I take it much more enjoying life as it is and trying to do really what I like. So that's why I'm a bit more strict. I'm not holding back. If I want something, I do it now. I don't wait till 10 years and I do it. But I also realize I don't need so much anymore. I don't run after the money as I used to. Even though I'm lucky, I still have money. But it's not priority anymore. When you're a young person and you don't have money, then you think that's the whole thing. Yeah, different things in life at different times become more valuable for sure.
Talking about money, how did you support yourself financially when you were dancing as an amateur and as a pro? Did you have a 9-to-5 job, or were you teaching kids and doing shows? That's from Alexi question.
Yeah, as I said before, I started when I was 10. So at that time, I didn't get a job. So I was very lucky that my parents were very supportive. And they financed my dancing at the time. But on my 80th birthday, I still remember that very well. My birthday present was that my parents said to me that from today you pay everything yourself. So I could have killed them. That was my 18th birthday present. But I have to tell you one thing. I learned very quickly. I think now I understand that this was maybe the best birthday present I ever got, because I learned very quickly what's important and what not. And so yeah, I did all kind of odd jobs, giving out newspapers in my little village. I had little jobs in the supermarket, putting prices on the food and everything. I worked for Igloo. You know Igloo? The ice. It's like Iceland here.
Iceland.
I had my fingers in these fridges and all, they were frozen and everything. Anyway. So, but I realized very quickly, this is not it. I have to do something else. So this is when I then started actually to get, this is when I moved to Freiburg. And then luckily in this dance school from Eugen and Ute, they had a lot of opportunities for me as a young amateur. So I was assisting every dance class I could, because every time I assisted for an hour, I got 5 Deutschmarks at the time. So I did this, and I could be with my dancing. So I lived and were breathing and living in the dance school from morning 9. I did the office job, then I did the bar job, and then I did the assisting, then I practiced. And then through this, they also allowed me to teach a little bit for little groups, for beginner groups and stuff. So yeah. Straight away I had a chance to learn and dance and breathe through dancing, What you kids do nowadays,
Exactly.
And I was teaching everything. I even had a little group. There were handicapped people. And it was amazing. Things you learn, experiences you make, because you would never think that these people can dance like we feel dancing. But first of all, they have so much joy you can't believe. I had so much love with them, and it was amazing. So yes, I did teach everybody who wanted to know my opinion. Yes.
So Hans, as a person, what do you feel your strengths and your weaknesses are?
As a person? Weakness. Shall I start good or bad? Yeah. I think as a positive, I think I'm a social person, and especially in our business, I think this is a very important thing. I have no problem to talk to people. I have no problem to deal with people, and I think this is very important in our business. So I think that's a positive, yes. And I think I have my personal opinions. I'm strong-minded, but I can also accept a lot of people. And I think this comes also from my family, especially from my mother. She always said, "You have to respect every person, everything," and I do. I have no problem, more or less, with Most of the people, unless they have done something stupid to me. But I can accept, I can. So, yeah, good soul, I would call it. Good soul, yeah. But my negative, I have no patience. That is a bit difficult for me, and that drives me sometimes mad, even with myself. And I believe, in the same time, when I'm not patient, I can be a bit annoying for people. So, yeah. I have to, and this Corona is teaching me more patience. So there you go. It's good for me. It's good for me.
Brian was asking, what about the champagne sponsors?
Oh, you see, I was always lucky in life. I got the right people.
What's the story behind that?
You see? Yeah, actually, we were very lucky. Yeah, at the time when we were champions, world amateur champions, and in Germany, we were very lucky that the federation was actually supporting the dancers, and they organized for us actually this sponsor. Yeah, it was not champagne; it was sparkling wine, M&M. It's called. I don't know if you know this M&M.
No.
We had them for a while. But yeah, and luckily they only paid us with money, not with fluid. So
Did they put you on the bottle?
I was too fat at the time. Couldn't get in there.
So Hans, is there something that people would be surprised to know about you, or something that people don't know about you that you can tell us?
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't know. Yeah, but no. I have no secrets. I'm out there. No, I have. Maybe I'll come back to that. I don't know yet. No.
If you had an autobiography, what would the name be?
Crazy German. Because I am deep down German. I have to be all good and bad. And I went loco loco. But a good heart.
Hans, what age were you the happiest?
Ooh. I had a great childhood, so I was happy when I was a child. I had a good time when I was in my 20s. I had great experiences. I had great times at that time when I was dancing. I felt a little bit like when I stopped dancing, I felt a little bit lost at the time. It was like 35, because actually this retirement I was talking about was maybe more from Bianca's side than from my side, because of course, first of all, we kind of were a little bit forced. It's the best time to stop, because you better stop at the top than you go first down. Yeah. But she wanted children at the time, of course, and she wanted a family, and that was certainly not for me. Family and children was not in my mind, and still not is. But so I felt a little bit at the time, ooh, that is a change in my life, and I felt a little bit lost at the time. But then I put all my energy to what I want to do with my dancing, and I realized that I had to learn to become a better teacher, because to be a good dancer doesn't mean straight away you're a good teacher. That I realized quite quickly. That I needed to learn better skills. Even though I had a lot of experience, but I had to get my facts more better together, because what you feel doesn't mean that other people understand. If you talk about your feeling, you need it to be a bit more concrete. And yeah, I had to get through this process. And that I felt a little bit worried at the time, even though in the end, again, it was a great time. Everything was at a great time. Yeah. Actually, I have to say, I never had a bad time.
That's
Everything
good.
at the right time, yes. And I hope there's still something to come, but we can always improve.
So Hans, if someone doesn't know your style of teaching, or they don't know what you're all about, if they walked into a lesson, what would they see and hear you doing or speaking about in a lesson?
Well, certainly they would hear at one point something about fundamentals. They would definitely hear something about body action, spine, body action. They will definitely hear something about rhythm, music. But everything else, they have to book a lesson for. Find out. Online. No, actually now we have this new project coming up with our ex-student Marcus Hom, and then
Yeah, I think he's watching.
He brings out a new app Snap dance. So people should look into that, snap dance, and have a look at it. They find out.
But Hans, as a teacher or a coach, what do you think sets you apart, or what are you a little bit different to others in you? Do you think, or is there something that sets you apart?
Well, I hope I'm not saying meaning it badly, but I hope I'm different. I hope I'm myself, and yeah. Well, definitely people know if they want choreography, they don't come to me because I don't like to do that. So that is already, and some people really love to do choreography. So I'm sure people know that I don't like to do that a lot. And if they maybe come to me, they will learn a little bit more difficult stuff to do with the body. So it's not just like, oh yeah, look up in the second balcony and then you will be fine. You know, it's a little bit more detailed. But I can be a bit challenging for sure also. I had a few girls that were crying in my lessons already.
Wow.
so obviously there must be a reason for. So I don't know for what reason they cried. I hope only for the right reasons. It was so emotional, but yeah.
Only girls, not boys.
It's funny, isn't it? I don't know. There's nothing to do with me being gay. That I be nice with the boys, not at all. But I do feel, I don't know why, but I have a feeling that I teach girls more than boys. Yeah, I don't know why. I need to find that out.
So Hans, have you got a story about the worst lesson you ever taught or the worst day of teaching you ever had?
The worst day of teaching?
Yeah.
Well, of course, we have all these days that you go in the studio and think, oh my God, when is this over? But I actually remember one lesson that I thought it was painful for myself. And it was, you know, like when you sometimes go to Asia to teach, you know, and then it was one of our first trip in Japan. We had this one couple, and it was actually one man who had these lessons with me, a single man with me. And he didn't talk one word of English. So in general, I have always understanding for people who don't speak the English perfect, because I remember myself how it was when I didn't speak English. And I came to England, I was just silent. They all thought I was a bit loco because I was just not answering, but it was just simply, I didn't get it quick enough, you know. So by the time I had the answer, they changed the subject. So that's why I do normally have an understanding, but this guy was really zero. I felt like I was staring into a wall. And then I really tried. I tried to move. I tried to touch. I tried to push. And he was just not moving, no emotion, no nothing. So I really, again, and you know, now you know I'm impatient. So I was, and then I started, so I said, it doesn't matter if I talk English. It doesn't matter if I talk whatever. So I talked German to him. So I started talking. 1, 2, 3, du bist so doof. So I kind of, and then Bianca was like screaming across the room and said, Hans, stop it, this is Anna. I said, it doesn't matter, he doesn't understand me. Now, I'm very sorry if this guy is watching. I'm very sorry, it was terrible for me. But yeah, I lost my plot.
Bianca is asking about the jive lesson with Nina Hunt.
Oh, she remembers that one. She liked that one. Yeah. You know, Nina, Nina was always, you had to come in. It was this little studio. And then basically, because she kind of had this recorded music on cassettes, so she put this in. And then what dance you want to do? Oh, it's jive. Okay, put it in. And there was a run through for 45 minutes. The music was running the whole time. And then that day, particular day, it was my turn. Hans, you do. Your partner is very, very good. Hans, but your jive basic is terrible. Hans, just dance. Back, replace, chassis, back, replace, chassis. And I had to continue. And then she continued talking with Bianca. And Nina always took the couple to the side on a little desk where she had this quick coffee. So she went making a coffee, and they had a coffee. And then I was like, and I had to keep that. And I was like, can I also come for a coffee? No, keep going. So she didn't even watch me. So they were turning around talking. And then I thought, okay, sorry, my English, the bitch. I said, okay, I take it easy. So I was like, instead of going full flat out, I said, back, And then she was like, Hans, I can hear you. So I had to. She made me do the Jive Basic for 45 minutes.
Really?
And Bianca had a cup of coffee. And she hated coffee. And I love coffee, and she would have needed the Jive Chassis. Sorry, Bianca.
And
No, that was, yeah. But you see, again, doing and learning, learning by doing, I guess. That was her secret, I think, Nina's secret. She made you do it, you know. There was not a lot of questions. You had to do it.
And Brian is asking about the blue material.
This comes back to my not so perfect English, yes? You know, like at the times, we had all these fantastic outfits, you know, these one suit cat suits, yeah? And it was all made from this elastic, quite heavy material. And so basically, this material was not available in Germany, so I always had to buy it here in England. And it was Ron Gunn that I ordered it from. And then it arrived in Germany, and it was the wrong material. So I had to call him and I said to him that, sorry, I got this material. And it was the wrong color. But at that time, I said on the, hello, this is Hans. Hello. So, you know, Ron Gunn, he said, yeah, hey, mate, yeah. So then I said, yes, I become a blue material. And he said, you did what? Because like if you translate German exactly, become means you received a blue material. So I said, just German English translation, I become a blue material. So this guy said to me, so Ron said to me, so he turned away and said to his staff, can you believe it? I'm talking to a blue material. So I didn't know what he's talking at the time. I was like, sorry, focus. It's the wrong one. Anyway, so I had a good laugh. Yeah. Anyway.
Hans, Jürgen's asking how many times you got injured in a comp or a show.
Well, in a comp, I didn't get injured, but I got injured in a show. And I think Jürgen is especially meaning one show that we did in the dance school in the thing. And we were introduced by the dance teacher for the show, and then Hans Galke and Bianca Schreiber with the samba, and we walking in, and I thought, okay, I give it all. And then 10 seconds, and I had one figure, I had a jump and a ripple and jump, and I had a turn. And after the turn, I fell flat onto my face. So I went full power, switch, turn, jump, everything, boom. Blood running down my face. I had a split open here, my forehead, and the face was like kind of this, you know, God. The music stopped. It was silence in the room. Nobody was talking. And everybody was like, whoa. So then Bianca just looked at me and said, oh, God. You know. So she kind of took myself up, and I was like, don't worry, girl. Let's continue. She said, yeah, continue. All we do is going out. So she took me, blood running down, and had to sit outside. And at that time we had this nice sequence material, you know, and then they said, I had to go to the hospital because I had to be stitched. And they called the ambulance, and they took me with the ambulance with my nice Latin outfit. I went in the ambulance, and then I went to the doctor, and he looked at me and says, where are you coming from? I said, I'm a dancer. I come from work. From work? He said, from work. Yeah. Anyway, I said, don't worry, just watch the TV. I'm a TV star. Anyway, yeah, but it's true. That was the shortest show I've ever done, 10 seconds.
And
didn't
Hans,
get paid for it either.
I'm sure. And Bianca's saying before the Worlds in Canada. Is that a different story?
Yeah, that's everybody's on there. Everyone's on. Yeah, true. That was the only one I was injured by my partner. We had practice actually at the time, and unfortunately, that's the bad thing. I think it was in the end actually my fault that I got injured, because we had like turn, and then of course everything had to be right. So where was the mirror? There. So I was like watching dancing, not looking at Bianca at all. And we both turned at the wrong time, and she hit with her teeth my nose like this. And she went like right across here, and my nose was broken. It was like a clean cut. I went again to the hospital, but this time I changed. I was actually, thanks God, in practice outfit. It was a nice clean cut. And the good thing, Bianca's teeth were fine. No problem. It's just my nose was broken. Yeah, and that was 2 days before the Worlds in Canada that we won. And at the time, we had all these kind of crazy choreography from Espen with all head rolls and so we were really into this disco style. And I still remember at the time, I had this thing and I was going, and of course I wouldn't give up. I go for it, doesn't matter what. And I could always, my head turning and my nose came always a little bit later. But no worries. I give it all. I didn't give up.
And Hans, Oksana's asking about
my nose broken. Yes.
Oksana's asking about a rock and roll lift.
Jesus Christ, they know. You see, they know more about me. I don't need to do this. No. There was again, shows in Germany, and then unfortunately for my German fellows, I have to say they like tricks in artistry. They like when something is more extreme. And one thing that Bianca and I maybe were not as brilliant was doing all these kind of tricks and lifts. But we had one lift that we had like in rumba and then top. And there was one couple in front of us. It was a rock and roll couple. And the public went berserk for them because they were like, do these tricks and jump and that. And then we were after them. And they were like, had standing ovation for 50 minutes and now come with our little rumba and cha-cha-cha. So I said to Bianca, today we do the lift double. So I said, put on your seatbelt. So I went, and it came to the time. The people were quite nice to us. Yeah, quite nice. So I put a little bit more speed. And while Bianca was lying here on top of me, and I was turning, I could suddenly feel that my legs started to twist. And I couldn't make it anymore. So again, I fell down. But all I could just remember, keep Bianca up. And again, I fell flat on my face. And then Bianca went after again on me. Boom! Twice on the face. It was the second time I had to go to the hospital. Yes. And there was I blamed this rock and roll couple. It was their fault. Not my bad technique, of course.
Of course. Hans, what's it like being a competition organizer?
Ooh, difficult. Yes. But one thing is very nice because you definitely can. That's why we at the time when we decided to make the London Ball or also the Envy Ball in Las Vegas, we can do a comp to do it our way, But then you quickly realize you have to learn a new business again because it's completely something else than just being a good dancer. So you had to learn a lot of business side. But it is exciting. It's a very tough job because you have to be really on the ball to make it nice. Of course, to get the financials together to run the competition. Competition is super expensive to run. It costs a lot of gas because everybody just thinks you make a lot. You spend a lot as well. So you have to make the financials clear. But it's fun. It's fun. Yes. Fun.
Hans, what do you think, in your opinion, is the biggest challenge for the dancers of today or the future generations compared to you guys?
Well, in the moment, it's certainly, hopefully you come back to dance again soon. That's the moment. But the challenge in the moment is, of course, you see the separation of the federations is certainly something that I feel is very sad because I do feel that our world has split too much already and maybe there's even more splits. So in the future, it would be lovely if we all can come back together one day. That would be fantastic. But let's see. I guess in the moment, it's not possible. But the biggest challenge, well, if it is really only online dancing that we have to learn with, I think that's not enough, unfortunately. So with this I think this is a tough challenge for the couples, if that is what it is. And what I also feel, because the time is so fast and everything is so much over the internet, I do feel that couples don't come to this learning by doing with the real thing, really meet the people that they have to meet, and maybe also meet the people and not only see the end product on the internet, because of course we all see this in the end product, and then it starts to become this copy thing, and of course it's very impressive, but you don't really know what made those people to dance like this. And if it's more and more like this, that people is just the quick learning and quick in, quick out, and not really have that discipline to learn it more, take the time to learn, because it takes time to learn to dance correctly and good, takes you a long time. And the time is, I feel time is a little bit too fast nowadays. Everything is by tomorrow, it needs to be there, you know? I mean, I just tell you the old story. When I used to book a lesson, I had to write a letter to Nina Hunt. So by the time I was writing the letter and then put it in the envelope and then send it over with Lufthansa to London, it took 2 weeks to arrive with Nina Hunt. By the time she decided to read the letter, was another 2 weeks done. By the time she wrote back to me, it with British Airways to London, it arrived 8 weeks later. So I took me sometimes 8 weeks to get lessons. So, but what was good about that, at that time you weren't used to, in that time you did something. So you had to deal with dancing more. But nowadays everything is available. Everything is by tomorrow. WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger. We are, what is of course good, but in the same time, I'm not sure if it makes the dancers really deal with themselves enough. So I said the challenge is for them, they have to deal with themselves more.
What is something that you love about the dance world? What do you love most about it?
Dancing is our life, and I could not imagine not to be in this world. It's great, it is fantastic, it's challenging, it is, you do what you love, and you can earn money with it. So it is just a great world. And I do feel it keeps you young, you know. I mean, I see a lot of our older colleagues, like if I see Lorraine nowadays, she's over 80. If you meet her, she is like a bubbly 50, 60, you know. And I think this is great. It shows you also that working with young people keeps you young. And then, not that I feel old, but I do already feel in another generation. But it keeps you young, it keeps you in, it keeps you vital, it keeps you fit. And yeah, I think it's great. I love this. And because we do what we love, and it keeps you active without you having the feeling you have to go to the gym, what we all hate.
And on the other side, Hans, what is something that you dislike about the dance world? Something you hate about it, if anything?
Hate is a very strong word, Jake. There is nothing that I really hate in the dance world. Maybe not dislike in the sense of some kind of behavior opinions in people, but I think that is a world thing. You cannot only say it's dancing. But if I dislike something extreme, is that we are separating the federations too much. I wish that our dance world, and then I mean not only the people who are in charge, all of us, find a way to merge again. So if I would say I dislike that, yes, I dislike that, because it's a shame. And for the simple reason also that all these young people that now just start, they don't even have the opportunity. They only see this little circle. They don't even see out over the border lines and have a chance to explore. When I was a dancer, I was exposed to all the great dancers only, and there was no limitation. So I was lucky to dance in my times. I feel, and these kids, they start today, they of course don't feel sad because they don't know the difference, but I feel sad for them because they maybe never see the whole thing. So if I dislike something, then it's this, yes, the opportunities for young people. Yeah.
Hans, there's a question from Frederico, who I assume is from Portugal. He says, as a dance teacher, what would you like to see changed in the dance world?
Well, as every dancer says, my time was the best. No, but yeah, I do feel, and that has maybe also to do a little bit with with the situation that we live. I wish that young people have the opportunity to learn the right things. And of course, for me, right things means how I was able to be brought up with the fundamentals and stuff. I do feel a lot of things become superficial. Everything is more about speed. And I'm not saying that I do like speed, but it needs to be used correctly. I do feel that a lot of people don't understand music anymore enough as I feel or should be able. Of course, they're great dancers. Everybody's flexible, elastic. I do feel that they actually work out more the elasticity and doing yoga more than they actually learn to dance more. So in that sense, the people are trained. They have fantastic bodies. They have much better fantastic bodies as I ever had in my young times, because we certainly were not as body physique trained at this. So now, is it better to just look good, or? And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but I'm not sure is it the right thing to become more special. And the other thing that I would like to, and this is maybe something to do with, again, the weakness of couples not to make their own choices enough. I feel that we are a lot of people who dance same, similar, and very equal. There's a lot of good dancing, but I'm missing more characterization of persons. Because if you think about, have you ever seen one world champion that dances like the other one?
No.
I mean, definitely Brian Watson doesn't dance like Donnie Burns, or Donnie Burns doesn't dance like Ricardo Cocchi, or you see, or Michael Malitovsky and all these world champions, or myself. Yes, I do feel that you only become a champion if you are also, not only you have everything, the fundamentals and everything, you give from you as a person. So I hope that people are not becoming those black sheeps and only follow their teacher. But I have a little bit the feeling that, especially in some federations, that the dancers are too much influenced and are kept in this system, because if they're not in the system, they are not anymore working. So if they never come out and do that by themselves, they will never learn and become a champion good enough, in my opinion. So that is a tough one. So if I would like to see something, I want to see more characters, but also I would like to see that people really deal with the subject of fundamentals more properly.
So you've probably kind of answered this question, but I'll ask it anyway. So the question was going to be, what do you think about the competitors today, but which you've sort of spoken about already, and the direction in which the dancing is going?
I want to make it one more time clear. I do feel that the level of dancing is higher than I used to dance, I believe. There's more capabilities, it is more varieties, and for sure, I'm not saying this is bad. It's all a better dancing nowadays. It is developing. But again, I wish that they still, because if the dancers would be a little bit more strong-minded, I think we wouldn't be in this situation where we are. I think if the dancers would have not allowed it and being so sheeps, and they would have followed a bit more clear for their own paths, I think we would be in a different situation nowadays. So I want more strong-minded rebellions.
Hans, do you think that it's tougher for the women in the dance industry or not?
Well, you mean like as teachers, or I think as in the dancing times when you really dance, I don't think it's more difficult. I think it's equal difficult hard for the male or the female dancer. To become a great male dancer or female dancer is the same hard work. I do feel that men are a little bit more privileged when it comes later to judging, and it's always the man who is asked first, and then the lady does. Yeah. So thanks God I'm a man. Yeah, but I do feel, yes, I do feel that it's always the man who is asked first. Yes, true. Yeah. So something to do with society, I guess. Yeah.
If you had children, would they dance?
I wouldn't mind if they want to dance. Yeah, but I would give them to another teacher, not me. I don't hear the. I don't want them to hear the father swear.
Hans, what is your favorite dance?
I think overall, I would say samba. But during my career, it changed a lot. And as I said, I also like the ballroom dances a lot. I used to love tango a lot. And, but if you talk about Latin, I think overall samba, yeah.
And the least favorite?
Jive.
The least
Even though I was
favorite?
a great jiver. I don't understand why Brian always won that. Must be the African thing, yeah?
What, and your least favorite dance?
Lambada. Least favorite. Must be something in the ballroom. No, I like, but out of the Latin, I think it's jive the least. Because
And
maybe I think in this dance I never had the right choreography. I don't know. For myself. I felt I was a bit wrong.
And you mentioned Brian. There was a question earlier from Plum, and he said he's asking, what was it like competing against Brian?
Good. It was always good when he was behind me. No, it was good. I have to tell you, I had a lot of respect to all my competitors at the time, especially a group like Paul Killig or Alan Tonsberg or Brian, or there was even the Germans. Holger Nietzsche at the time was fighting with us in Germany, and Ralph Lipine at the time as a professional. So I had a lot of respect for all my competitors. I always wanted to beat them. Don't understand me wrong. But I knew what is good about them and what's bad about them, and so you study also your opponents for sure. I did, certainly.
Hansi, Roman's asking, what did you normally say to yourself when you didn't make the next round?
Can I swear?
Of course.
Now, most of the time I said, this is not going to happen again. But I have to also tell you, as I said, I was an easygoing party. We had most of the best parties when we had a bad result. We call that in German the Abkack party.
Abkack.
You as Afrikaans is maybe similar, yeah?
Abkack, yeah.
If you have a bad result. So yeah, that was always my bad. So I quickly forgot about the pain that I had before. Life goes on.
So Hans, some other interesting questions. In your opinion, like looking back historically, who do you feel was one of the most underrated dancers or couples that never quite made it or never quite achieved what they should have, in your opinion?
I should have won Blackpool, I think. No. I've seen great dancers, yeah, that I thought they should have. I thought it. Well, but you can't say that these people that I'm saying now that they still won titles. But I think, for example, Franco Formica would have been for me a world champion in the professionals too. But you see, everything is meant to be, or maybe Slavic could have been higher than he was at the time. But he did win competition. So, anyway, everything happens for a reason, and in the end of the day, and even I had to ask myself these questions. Maybe you think that you're underrated, but maybe that's what you deserve. And we all have to face the fact that it is what it is. I sometimes thought I should have been much higher, certainly. But what was good about it, I said, and you start asking yourself why you're not. And then that is maybe the real moment when you start working different and more harder. So it's good. Nothing happens for no reason.
So let's say, because you did say it earlier, that Bianca was your sort of ideal soulmate on the dance floor, right? She was your soulmate dance partner. So with that aside,
I know that now. Yeah? Don't misunderstand.
So if you had to go back and you could choose any partner of your choice, but Bianca's out of the equation, would there be someone else you could have seen yourself dancing with and being successful?
No, at the time there was not so many little girls. And I was a little bit wider as well. No, we were just made for each other. No.
Hans, who's your all-time favorite dancer? Doesn't need to be ballroom or Latin. Could be in some other dance form. Do you have an all-time favorite dancer?
Self-belief, eh? No. Ultimate dancer. Ultimate dancer. We have many great dancers in our business, but there's nobody specific that I think is the ultimate dancer.
But this could even be in the.
Yeah, no, I understand. You mean like Fred Astaire and these people?
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, can't give you a name. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
I do agree. I'll come back to that.
Hans, what is your vision in Latin American dancing? How do you see it? What's your vision, how it should be? Vision is that it returns a bit more to artistic Latin American dancing. And I say that very clear, Latin American dancing in the sense of relating to our specific music, that we have to come back even more. I do feel it is a bit too sportive and too, not enough attention to music, I do feel. So I wish that we are getting stronger towards that. When someone says, you often, you hear other people teaching lessons or you see things and stuff, and it's like, oh, you need to be more sexy for the girl, for example. What does that mean to you? What is a sexy female on a dance floor? I think sexy in the sense of sexy doesn't mean just undress and show more flesh. I do feel it's like maybe being more in touch with yourself as a woman and actually understand yourself. Who are you? And sexy can be many different characterization. Depends a little bit how you are as a female dancer and as a woman itself. And I think that you are in touch with yourself and that you actually know who you are. And that means also that maybe you will appear to the outside more attractive, meaning that maybe what people means then looking more sexy. I think it's the character that comes through and how you use that in the movement. Are you in touch with yourself? Are you in touch with your soul? Are you okay with your feelings to also show that? I do feel a lot of girls are sometimes not aware of their own feelings and are certainly shy of showing that. Yes, and that's something we can't. We have to be able to show our feelings through the motion. But I think it has to do with body and mind. You need to be connected in yourself. And that means also you need to know yourself. Yeah. Hans, Camilla is asking, if you had to dance today, what would you do to win? What would I do to win? Well, I have to come back to when I realized after retire, the moment of after retire, I realized even though I was very good and I won, I didn't know everything. And my mind was not good enough at the time. Even that I won, I did feel after I reflected back after going out of the competition circus, I could have done so much better if my brain would have been even more channeled and more concrete. And that I would do different. I would be more precise and maybe even more selfish with my thought toward dancing. And as I said, when you're in the process of dancing in this moment, you may be not as free as you should be. And if you step out and look back from the outside, I think you see it more clear. And if I would dance again, I would do that more clear. But maybe if I would jump in, and I would have to get ready for Blackpool, senior 3, have to get ready. I forget about it all and I just run. I don't know. But in my mind, I think, less fear and more straight, concrete forward. Yeah, even more. Hans, if there was one thing you could change about yourself, what would it be? My height. I would like to be a little bit taller. And skinnier. Yeah, so that means more discipline, I guess. Is that what the answer is? I need to be more disciplined. I don't know if you want to elaborate, but Camille, to that question we just asked you, is asking be precise in what direction? Precise in what I learn, also do, and concrete, and not and put your mind to it, and not just
as I said, sometimes I was very easygoing, maybe too easygoing. Yeah. I remember still Espen always shouting, "Hans, your feet are still turned in." And I said, "Yeah, but it looks good, doesn't it?" So he was certainly very frustrated with these. I would be more concrete, yeah, more precise. Take it maybe more serious.
Hans, out of the dance floor, what are your hobbies and interests? Do you have any?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you see. Do you see in the back
A little bit.
my piano? Do you see?
No.
No, no. One second. I turn around. Can you see?
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
It's all there. I'm ready for retirement. No, actually, it's funny because when Colin and Lena separated and they sold their house and they had this piano, and then she said, "Oh, I'm selling this piano." I said, I'll buy it because I want to learn piano when I retire." Well, it is here for many years, and I had about 10 lessons. But I realized very quickly that I'm actually seriously not talented and it looks terrible. And I felt so put back into this role. I know exactly now how young dancers feel when they have the beginner lessons. I felt so terrible. So, but I do think it looks fantastic.
It looks beautiful. Yeah.
And one day I will build a little machine in that place for me myself and I pretend. I'm very good in acting. Yeah. Yeah. So, but otherwise than that, I do my little bit of running. I used to do a little bit of horse riding when I was younger because my father had 2 horses and he always wanted me to clean them. So that meant I had to ride them. And but I haven't done that for years.
Hans,
Yeah.
is there something that you wish dancers paid more attention to these days?
Yeah, listen to themselves more and be more serious. My bad, I want them to do better than me. You know, I don't.
Hans, what is the best part about teaching and coaching? Thanks. Are you there? Are you there?
You're freezing. What's wrong with your internet?
No, mine's perfect. You freezing. Are you there? I hope you paid your internet bill, eh?
Jake, maybe that's a sign they want us to.
Mine's perfect on my side, but you freezing. So guys, is Hans frozen? Can you still hear me, or is it both of us frozen? Okay, good. Okay, Hans has left. Let me try get him back on. Give me a second. Let me get him back on. Hey. Okay, I'll let you in. It says your device is not connected. You need to connect to the mic and the cam before I can add you to the stream. There we go. Okay. I don't see you, but I can hear you. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We got it. Are you there?
I am there.
Okay, good. You must pay your internet bill, hey?
Okay.
Yeah, we good? It's just a little frozen. It's strange. There we go.
Yeah.
Can you hear me and see me?
I see you, but frozen. Now you. All right.
Well, in the meantime, while we sort this out, is there any questions from anybody watching while we figure this out? Has anybody got any other questions? What do you think? What do you think it is? Yeah, and on my side
Two.
Yeah, your freezes too. Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe overloaded the cloud.
Yeah, it could be. There, you well, it's strange because you're crystal clear, and then it freezes, and then I don't know what should we do. Do we? Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. Well, let's see. Oh, you connected? There, I just added you. Yeah. Are you there? Are you there? Yeah, that's clear. I tell you what we can do. We'll try one thing. I'll end the broadcast, and I'll start it again, and we'll see if that works. And if not, then we have to obviously call it a day or do a part 2. You know what I mean? So I'm going to end it, and then you're going to click on the same link again, and we're going to try it again, like from scratch. Okay? Okay. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to just try to run this from scratch because Hans can't, it keeps on freezing. So I'm going to end it and I'm going to restart it again. So just bear with us, okay?